Picture this. You just wrapped up a fantastic first meeting. The prospect is nodding along, they seem to really get it, the rapport is electric, and you walk away with that little surge of adrenaline thinking, this is a done deal. You send a sharp, thoughtful follow-up email, and then it's just crickets. You're now officially trapped in the follow-up black hole, that painful void where you're asking yourself, am I being too pushy? Or am I not being persistent enough? That hesitation right there is where deals go to die. But what if the problem isn't your persistence, your product, or even the prospect? What if it's just your timing? Did you know that a staggering 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-up attempts? Yet a massive chunk of all salespeople, 44% to be exact, give up after just one shot. That gap between 1 try and 5 is a graveyard of lost deals. But closing that gap isn't about just sending more emails. It's about sending the right message at the right time. Most salespeople either follow up way too fast and they come off as desperate and needy, or they wait far too long and the prospect's initial excitement completely vanishes. Both of these mistakes kill the deal. Today, I'm sharing the simple but incredibly powerful 48-hour rule that will end the guesswork, turn your silent prospects into eager buyers, and double your response rate. After more than a decade in sales and coaching thousands of reps, this is the single most effective timing secret I've ever found. It's a framework that throws guesswork out the window and replaces it with a predictable system for winning. Let's start with your biggest problem, why your follow-ups are failing. Before we get to the solution, let's get painfully honest about the problem. Why do so many great conversations just fizzle out into silence? It really comes down to 3 main failures in your follow-up game. And the first one is the sneakiest, the speed of forgetting. The human brain is literally wired to forget. Psychologists call it the forgetting curve. Here's how it works. Within just 24 hours of learning something new, people can forget up to 70% of the information. That spark of excitement you created in your meeting, that moment of clarity they had, it has a shelf life and it is decaying fast. Every hour you wait after that meeting, your message gets buried under a mountain of other priorities. Wait a week and you're not just a low priority, you're a fuzzy memory. You've lost all momentum. A quick response, on the other hand, signals that you're professional and reliable, making the prospect feel important. This leads right into your second failure, the pushy versus passive dilemma. We've all been there. You send a follow-up the same day and worry, you sound desperate. You wait a week and worry, you sound like you don't care. This back and forth freezes us. But the truth is, both extremes are toxic. Following up too soon can interrupt their internal talks. They need time to process. Pinging them a few hours later feels like you're crowding them. But waiting too long sends a message of apathy. In a competitive market, the vendor that responds first is 35 to 50% more likely to win the deal. Being slow isn't just bad service, it's a losing strategy. It's like having a great first date and then waiting 2 weeks to call. The excitement is dead and they've moved on. You need that perfect middle ground. The third, and maybe the most common reason your follow-ups are failing, is what I call the value vacuum. So many follow-up emails are totally useless. They're full of phrases like, just checking in, or bumping this to the top of your inbox. These phrases are pure poison. They add zero value and immediately frame you as a pest, not a partner. Put yourself in their shoes. They're getting slammed with over 100 emails a day. They don't have time for a message that only serves your need for an update. If a prospect goes quiet, it's often because they've decided you have nothing left to offer them. Your follow-up has to give them a real reason to talk to you again. It has to be about them. Now, let me introduce you to the best solution for your business. We call it the 48-hour rule. So, how do we fix all this? How do you beat the forgetting curve, escape the pushy versus passive dilemma, and fill that value vacuum? The answer is a simple 2-part framework, the 48-hour rule. Here it is. Always follow up within 48 business hours of your last big interaction, and every single follow-up must provide new, tangible value. Let's break that down, starting with the timing. Why 48 hours? Why not 24 or 72? It's the psychological sweet spot. Following up in this window does 3 things. First, it respects their process. It gives the prospect breathing room to decompress, look at their notes, and maybe have a quick chat with their team. It doesn't feel needy. Second, it uses the recency effect. Your chat is still fresh in their mind. They remember their pain points and the solution you talked about. You get to continue the conversation, not restart it. Third, it shows you're professional, organized, and attentive. Waiting longer risks the lead going cold. Moving faster can feel pushy. 48 hours is the perfect balance. Now for the second and arguably more important part. Every follow-up must provide new value. This is what separates the top 1% of salespeople from everyone else. A follow-up is not a check-in. It's a chance to keep selling by continuing to help. And value isn't a discount. Value is anything that helps them do their job better, see their problem more clearly, or build a business case for your solution. Think of your sales process like a hit TV show. Your first meeting was the pilot, it got them hooked. Every follow-up is a new episode. It has to move the plot forward and give them new information that makes them excited for the next one. A just checking in email is like a rerun of the commercials. It's annoying and totally skippable. The goal of every touch point is to be so valuable that they'd actually pay for your advice. You're not a vendor, you are a trusted advisor. And advisors bring insights, not just reminders. That mental shift is everything. Now with all that knowledge I poured into your brain, you'll be itching to know how to execute the 48-hour rule. Here is a step-by-step blueprint that you can apply today. Knowing the rule is one thing, but using it flawlessly is another. So, here's a practical, step-by-step blueprint for putting the 48-hour rule into action. Step 1. The initial 48-hour follow-up. Your first follow-up, sent within 2 business days, sets the whole tone. The goal is to reinforce the value you discussed and define the next step. This is not a thank you email. It's a recap and resource email. Let's break it down. Your subject line needs to be clear. Something like, our chat about their goal, or next steps for project name is perfect. The opening should be a quick reference to the meeting. Great connecting with you on date you met or did a call. The body is where you bring the value. First, recap their core problem in their own words. For example, in our chat, you mentioned the challenge of reducing employee onboarding time. As we discussed, our platform helps by automating X, Y, and Z, which usually cuts that time in half. Then add the new resource. This is key. You could say, to give you a better idea of how this works, I've attached a case study from a company in your industry. I think you'll find their results on page 3 really relevant. This proves you listened, reinforces the ROI, and gives them social proof. Finally, you need a clear, low-friction call to action. Don't say, let me know what you think. That's weak. Be specific. Are you open to a quick 15-minute call next week to walk through this case study and see how a similar approach could work for your team? It's a small, logical next step. Now let's move on to step 2. What if they go silent? The second follow-up, day 5 to 7. So you sent your brilliant recap and resource email and silence. Don't panic. This is normal. People are busy. Remember, it can take an average of 8 touches just to get a meeting. The big mistake here is sending a needy, value-free, bumping this up email. Instead, this is when you send the insight and question email. Your goal here is to offer a different kind of value and re-engage them with a question that's easy to answer. Make sure you reply to your previous email to keep all the context in one thread. For the body, find a piece of third-party content that's relevant to them. An industry report, a news article, an interesting blog post. For example, hi, prospect name. I was just reading this article in industry publication about the future of remote work, and it made me think of our conversation. I thought you might find the part about asynchronous tools insightful. Here's the link. Your call to action should be a simple, open-ended question that doesn't ask for a meeting. For instance, does this trend line up with what you're seeing at your end? This is a powerful move because it invites a simple text-based reply. It's easy for them to answer and get the conversation going again without pressure. By the way, if you're finding this video useful and you want to get better at turning prospects into closed deals, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I drop detailed guides just like this every single week with actionable strategies to help you crush your goals. And while you're there, leave a comment and let me know. What's the biggest follow-up mistake you see other salespeople make? I read every single comment. Step 3. The third and fourth follow-ups. The gentle nudge and the breakup. Persistence pays, but it has to be smart persistence. Research shows 80% of sales require 5 or more follow-ups. But 92% of reps give up before the fourth attempt. This is where you outlast everyone else. Your third follow-up around day 14 can be a quick insight and check-in. This could be a piece of social proof or a company update, something like that. Hey name, quick update on our end. We just helped another client in their industry space cut their operational costs by 22% last quarter. Made me think of your goal to their goal. Then, a simple, direct question. Is tackling this still a priority for you in Q3? It's direct, value-focused, and requalifies their interest. If you still hear nothing, it's time for the breakup email around day 21 to 30. This is one of the most effective tools you have. The goal is to get a response by respectfully closing the loop. It sounds counterintuitive, but it works by taking all the pressure off. Here's a template. Hi name, I've reached out a few times about their goal and haven't heard back, which tells me one of three things. 1. You're all set and this isn't a priority right now. 2. You're still interested but just swamped. Or 3. You've been abducted by aliens, in which case I should probably call someone. If it's number 1 or number 2, a quick reply would be great. If it's number 3, let me know what planet you're on. Joking aside, I'll assume now isn't the right time and close your file. If that's a mistake, just let me know. Wishing you all the best. This email works because it uses humor, shows respect, and triggers the psychological principle of loss aversion. People are more motivated to avoid a loss than to get a gain. By closing their file, you create a sense that they might be losing out, which often gets you an immediate reply. So there you have it, the 48-hour rule. It's not just a tactic, it's a complete system for mastering the follow-up. Let's recap. 1. Fight the forgetting curve by following up within 48 business hours. This keeps the conversation fresh and proves you're a pro. 2. Escape the just checking in trap by providing new real value with every single touch point. You're an expert advisor, not a vendor. This system removes the guesswork. It eliminates the anxiety of the follow-up black hole and gives you a confident, repeatable process. This is how you stop chasing and start attracting buyers. You don't need to be an aggressive, hard-closing salesperson to win. You just need a better system. The 48-hour rule is that system. Start using it today and watch your silent prospects become your best customers. To make this even easier, I've put together a value-added follow-up cheat sheet. It has over 15 different types of value you can add to your emails with links to resources, data points, and case study templates. It's the perfect tool to use with the 48-hour rule and will make sure you never have to send a lazy checking in email again. It's completely free. Just click the link in the description below to grab your copy right now.